But I'm injecting it.
I
Into
would
the
say
game.
give the beans to Gabi. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
have
I
a
think the
problem with
beans
them.
suit her character. To be honest, yeah,
Okay, I will give them
they're very natural.
to Gabi. Yeah.
I've never seen a bean this huge, but
All right,
maybe.
and it's in your inventory, and on your bag of beans, just write ×7. Okay, if you would do that for me. Okay, so this bag of beans was attached to this jug. All right, and remember, the jug looks like this. All right.
Yeah.
Now, who wants this jug? Because this is an alchemy jug. And you know the old stories of what this alchemy jug does is this jug is very heavy. This jug weighs 12 pounds. So whenever you have this, you need to add 12 pounds to your
This is a very barbarian type of item, I think, right
Yeah.
off the bat, guys.
And
Krusk is a
Yep.
big guy. He needs to eat and drink lots. So yeah, he probably needs this more than everybody else.
yeah, and a lot of times when you pick this jug up and you shake it, it sounds like there's something in it, but it's empty. But
Okay.
with the use of these corks, you pull the corks out and plug them in different, the different colored corks in different patterns, it will produce different liquids.
Whoa.
So you know that this alchemy jug can produce a little bit of acid. It can produce a little bit of basic poison. It'll produce quite a bit of beer. It'll produce honey. It'll produce mayonnaise. It'll produce oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, or even wine.
You know,
I think-
Krusk has got to have his mayonnaise. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure.
I thought Krusk stopped listening at beer.
That's
So-
what I was thinking.
Yeah, so once you produce whatever you want with this alchemy jug, you can only produce as the lore says, you can only produce with this alchemy jug one time a day. And as the sun rises, you can produce something else. So who wants the alchemy jug?
This heavy thing. Only Krusk can carry this thing comfortably.
I can carry it with ease, I think.
Okay. So let's give you the alchemy jug. There you go. We're going to change that weight to 12. So there you go. It's already done for you. Make sure you change the weight of that bag of beans to like 3 pounds too. All right. So now, what do we have so far? We have 2 healing potions, right? We have this jug, this bag of beans, and you have yet another little pouch. And this pouch,
Got a nose on it.
as what Draven was asking, it has a little nose on it. Well, you were able to find, all of your recollections. You remember this as the dust of sneezing and choking. And this is great. So what you can do is you can use an action. You can throw a handful of this dust into the air, and within 30 feet of where you throw this, within 30 feet, everyone will need to make a saving throw check. And I'm speaking out of character, but what this does is this dust makes you sneeze uncontrollably, and it makes you gasp for air. It's like a very high potent type of pepper, and it makes you incapacitated, and it makes you start to suffocate. And you can use this several times.
If I ever saw a Rigby item,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's right up my
That's
alley.
definitely very roguish.
Yeah, the pouch is pretty full. So yeah, there's two uses of this dust of sneezing.
Okay.
Even though there's only one, I'm giving it to. So
I'll go ahead and take-
who wants the dust?
Yeah,
Rigby?
Rigby.
I'll take
All
that
right.
if someone else wants it.
All right, there you go. Dust of sneezing's on your sheet, and you can just put ×2 on there. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the next item, still 2 items. There is an item that has the robe. Well, actually, there's one item.
Yeah, there's
But-
a cloak left or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cloak, Well, as you're kind of checking the pockets and stuff, you find something else. You find a little container. So the robe, we'll go ahead and we'll show you guys this again. This is the, you guys will love this, is a classic D&D item. This is the robe of useful items.
Okay.
So the robe of useful items has a bunch of patches on it. And these patches is, a bunch of various shapes and colors and stuff. And there's symbols on all of these different patches. So there are 2 dagger patches, 2 lantern patches, 2 steel mirror patches, 2 10-foot pole patches, 2 patches that have coils of rope, and then a couple of patches that have sacks on them. All right, well, there's a couple other patches as well. And I'm going to go ahead and let whoever wants the robe. Who wants the robe? Anyone?
Me and Draven don't have anything. Draven, you liking this? You liking your robe? You liking your robe, Draven?
I'm not. No.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, on the
It's
this
kind of gaudy. It's not really, it doesn't really fit my style, but yeah, I can make it work.
Yeah, it's no problem because the last item that you find is actually a pretty small little item, and this is what it looks like. It's like a,
Okay.
it's a little. It looks like a little dish with a lid on it. Okay, and this is Coitum's ointment. And this is an actual. You're kind of surprised where not only where the goblins got this robe of useful items, but this Coitum's ointment. And what this ointment does is it has a couple of charges, and I'll go ahead and tell you really quick. It has a total of 2 doses in this. The goblins probably use most of this up, as you can tell. But it is a thick mixture inside, and it actually smells pretty good. And even Gabi, she says, it smells like aloe. It smells like one of the ingredients of the forest that I'm used to smelling.
Oh, God.
And yeah, this pouch weighs a half a pound.
Goblin. Is it goblin attractant or something?
No, it's not. So there's 2 doses, and what this does is each dose will do multiple things. It will heal you for 2d8 plus 2, and it will also get rid of any kind of poison, or it will cure you of any degree, any disease. So as what the lore you remember from the lore. So, Coitum's ointment. You also have this as well.
Yeah,
Now
I'll
the robe.
toss that over the Draven then.
Okay, so Draven, you want the ointment?
Sure. I'll
It's a
take
very
the ointment. Yes.
Paladin
Okay.
DDD type of item.
Yep. Now you've got 2 charges. I put times 2 on there for you.
All right.
All right.
Do I need
Now
to roll something for this robe, Dave?
this robe of useful items. There are 2 other patches.
Okay.
Now, when you want to use one of these items, say if you need a coil of rope, you'll just pull one of those patches off of the
Right.
robe, and voila, there is a coil of rope, or voila, there is a sack, or there is a 10-foot pole. And once you get rid of all the patches, it's just a normal cloak.
Just a robe, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got 2 other patches on this, and they're pretty interesting patches. So roll a d100 twice.
A D100 twice? How do I do that on this day?
You can just pick up the 10-sided die on the bottom, or actually you can just right-click it and hit the %, and that'll roll a percentile die for you.
Okay, give me a second. Let me find the 10 sided.
On the bottom, very bottom left, where all your dice are. There's your
Third one
color.
from the left.
There, I found it.
Okay.
It. Thank you.
So the first patch, wow. The first patch is the patch of a boat.
Okay.
And it looks it is like a small rowboat. But it'll be a 12-foot long rowboat basically.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So now what
This
is
is getting to be handy, guys.
what is the next patch that's on here.
Another percentile.
Yeah, and you can tell that a lot of patches have
Two
already
rowboats,
been.
Dave. It's two rowboats.
There's actually
Airplane.
there's been all kinds of patches ripped off of this. There's been probably about a dozen patches or so that have already been ripped off.
Right.
Okay, so the last roll is it looks like a small bag.
Okay.
Just a small bag, and it's tied, so it looks like something's in the bag. Okay. So let's go ahead and drop this robe of
In my
useful
sheet.
items on your sheet, and then beside it, if you wouldn't mind putting in parentheses, put down pouch, and then put down boat.
All right, done and done, Dave.
Sounds like a winner to me. Very nice. So you have
So,
all
yeah,
of this.
so-
Yeah, this is the loot of your spoils since you've left Waterdeep.
This is
And
the
now you're-
culmination of,
yeah.
of our exploits.
While
so
we
far.
while we are here sitting at the fire, I'm like, you see, the rest sees me moving those corks of the truck, and I'm like filling, I'm uncorking, but taking the main cork of the truck, and I give
He's getting
everyone
nervous.
some beer.
Ah!
All right.
Oh, you
So
figured out how this thing works, Chris. I didn't know you had it in you, man.
Watch, you accidentally set it to acid.
so yeah, it's making a bunch of beer. I think it makes 4 gallons of beer or something like that.
Are you sure this stuff is potable, Chris? Can we trust this? It just came out of a strange thing we got from a bunch of stinking goblins. Man.
Well, you see Draven smack his lips like, and he eagerly hands his mug over there, and
Oh my
if he
God.
feels it, he'll smell it like it smells potable.
Oh wow!
Tastes pretty good.
me thinks the paladin is a bit of a lush. What say you?
It's definitely not of the highest quality ale, but it will definitely do for being out, in the middle of the wilderness. You haven't had any ale in quite a long
Exactly.
time. So this little jug, this will come in handy.
Yeah.
So a
Hey,
little
it's
bit
the
of
Fill me up, Krusk.
information
What?
about
It tastes like
Nightstone.
mayonnaise. Jesus.
So you guys know that Nightstone is a fortified settlement. It's located a few miles south of the Ardeep Forest, in the Untamed Hills between Waterdeep and Daggerford. You guys know that the elves are the closest neighbors to Nightstone, and over the past years, the elves and the humans that dwell inside of Nightstone have become very distant with one another, and actually several fights have occurred. And the elves have actually kind of unleashed their wrath on multiple occasions on Nightstone for, destroying parts of the forest and whatnot. Now, however, you guys know that the elves are pretty much the least of the settlement's problems. All right, you guys, there's been a call for, adventurers, and this is why you guys have
Yeah.
heeded the call. You guys have been traveling for weeks. I mean, you've been traveling at a slow pace. You misjudged your supplies. You had to basically sack a caravan.
Oh my God.
so you've been able to
Close your eyes, Draven.
Yeah. So after all of this, as the sun comes up and you start to travel along the high road, you have whatever. I don't know if Krusk is going to make anything with the jug, but you guys sign ahead of you. You spot a wooden signpost that's on the trail, and as you get closer, and you get closer to the sign, the signpost is actually 3 arrow-shaped signs. Now there's one marked Waterdeep, basically pointing back the way that you just came.
Right.
There is one that says Daggerford, that travels further to the east. And the third, which is sort of like a sight for sore eyes, it says Nightstone, straight ahead. 10 miles.
10 miles. Oh, shit.
So you were
Crust,
right
on
as
your
you
back the rest of the way.
as you set your camp. You thought you were about 10-15 miles away. And your hunches were right. Your map was accurate, your planning was accurate, and now you're almost there.
Alright, guys. Looks like this trip's almost over. I can't wait to get into a bathhouse again.
Yes. I'm sure we'll be regaled.
You want to
for
be in
our
a bathhouse
heroics
together with me?
once we arrive. At least
So-
I'm thinking to myself that word has spread about these fearsome goblin slayers, that have been roving the woods between Waterdeep and Nightstone. Our legend has already begun, guys. We are going to be hailed as heroes as we enter this town here. You just wait and see.
So, what in the heck? I mean, what are you actually making with that jug today, Crust? I'm actually kind of a little, interested in hearing this.
What I'm making today with the jerk. I'm just messing around a little bit, and
Oh no.
I was trying to get fresh water, but I accidentally got salt water. I misplaced one of the corks that I got salt water instead of fresh water.
I love it. You take a big drink and you're like, ugh! Throw it up all over the place.
I'm like starting to drink, and I'm like spitting it out straight onto Nyx. I'm like,
Hey! What's the meaning of that, Crust? Give me a glass of water if you've got enough to spit around on that.
I messed up.
Oh, I wouldn't have said
I made
anything. I would have
salt
said, oh,
water.
here you go.
It's a little bit too salty.
You messed up. Why am I not surprised?
Oh,
How
good.
about you make some mayo for our sandwiches here, Crust?
Yes, this bread we've been eating for days and days would be a whole lot better with some mayonnaise on it.
I cannot do anything more today.
What is mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise, it's a product made out of chicken eggs, I have come to understand. It's very popular in a country called Belgium somewhere.
Just wait and see. You'll see Crust passed out in a pile of it one of these mornings.
An ancient civilization named Belgium.
The ancient civilization of Belgium.
That was pretty
The
good.
founders of the Omega Society, which is constantly following me around the countryside. So yeah, fucking salt water. Crust, what are we gonna do for water today? You fucked up real bad. You know that, right? You realize the problem you're causing, right?
Well, thank goodness you're only 10 miles away from Nightstone, right?
Well, let's start moving to the city then.
Oh, well,
I've
if you
got
just
some
let that
water
roll
there.
right off your back. Let's do it then.
So you guys are following this trail for another 10 miles, and you start to hear bells ringing in the distance.
See, they're already getting our heroes parade started, guys.
So as you grow,
really?
the sound grows louder and louder as you get closer and closer to Nightstone, and it comes into view. So I'm going to share with you a map here. Man, something's wrong with the SoundCloud tonight, isn't it, guys? I'm just gonna go.
I'm not hearing
It's
you
that it's that Windows 10
I
update,
hear it.
probably.
I hear like
It
just
keeps
like,
cutting out. Yeah, it keeps cutting out on me.
I cut my volume up. Okay.
All right, so as you guys get closer in the distance, you can see this is what Nightstone looks like, and you can see
Yeah,
the
okay.
palisade that goes around. You can see the ramp that's leading up to the castle. But something's interesting. It
I'm
seems
just
like
getting a blank screen.
Yeah,
it's down
took
there
a
at
while
the
for me
very
to
bottom.
load.
Yeah, it'll be down. Scroll down to the very bottom. In fact, I will I will
Yes,
sync
it's
the
on.
client view. Yeah, just be
There you
patient.
go.
It'll load up for you
Yeah.
eventually.
It looks like the bridge is out,
Okay.
Dave. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, it looks like the bridge leading up to the castle it has a chunk missing out of it. But
And
as you get
also
closer, go ahead,
that
Crust.
the castle wall, part of the castle wall is missing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be missing, or is that just a cutaway on the
Cut
map?
out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a 3D, type of deal going on
Yeah, there's it looks like
there.
there's
X-ray vision,
a portion of the wall as Krusk was looking at the other map that was
Okay.
on top of it. But yeah, it looks like there's a portion of the castle that you're facing is kind of destroyed as well. Well, as you're getting closer, these bells are getting louder, and it's the same consistent ringing, and it's starting to get on your nerves. Now, as you get closer to Nightstone, you can see that there's a sort of like a moat or a river that's flowing around the entire settlement. And this is a pretty wide moat. Now, the village looks like it's inside of the wooden palisade, and you can see the tops of like a steeple. You can see the top of a windmill, and you can also see several other high-pitched rooftops. Nothing looks like it's on fire. Nothing like that. Apart from ringing the bell, you don't see any. You don't detect any. You don't see any activity in the village. Now, the trail ends before a lower drawbridge that's spanning across the moat. And as you can look inside of the gate is open, wide open, double gate. There are 2 stone towers that are flanking each gate. Well, the open door, and you don't see any activity inside of Nightstone. Nothing. You see absolutely nothing. Now, to the south, as you guys kind of survey around the area and whatnot, the little island, it's south, and this is it's sort of like a cone-shaped hill. And as you can see it on the side view, the castle sits higher, quite a bit higher than the rest of Nightstone. And the castle is also enclosed with a wooden wall overlooking the village, and it's like Krusk had said, it's partially collapsed. And then the wooden bridge that connected the Nightstone to the castle has also partially collapsed. So you guys start to approach the gate, see no activity. What do you want to do?
What's going on in here?
I'm just as confused as you, Krusk. I expected adoring crowds throwing their pantaloons at us, but I see nothing. Nowhere near the entrance.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, you don't hear kids playing.
Can we approximate where the bell sounds are emanating from?
And
Is
if
it from
those
this
bells
steeple here,
don't
Dave?
stop,
Yeah, it sounds like
don't
that's
stop
probably
soon,
what it
and I
would
will
be.
crush them.
And they may be holding some sort of meeting or something to discuss how to reward us or something like that.
Oh, there should still be some kids out playing or something. We should be hearing something.
Is this like a drawbridge that's pulled up or something? Cause
And
No,
the
it's
drawbridge is down.
It's down.
We're down.
It
We're,
is
Oh.
down.
we're
Yeah.
walking up. To
Yeah, it's totally down. So let me go ahead and share the sheet with you guys. Now you guys.
is there any way to tell from the tone of the bells, possibly if it's like morning bells or it's sort of celebration bells or something like that? Because typically the bells are from the church. So
Yeah, it would probably be like a morning type of bell. Like
Okay.
a get your ass out of bed type of bell. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys down on the map here, and this is where you guys are at.
as we're going in, I'm like, guys, those bells are not happy bells. Something pretty bad has probably happened here.
So you speak Bale now, Draven. That's the useful information. I'll tuck that away into my memory.
Well, if you weren't such a heathen and actually paid attention to your faith, you might go to church and know that church bells ring for different occasions and ring in certain tunes. So you would know this.
I learned
Well,
something
some
today.
of
It
us
seems.
don't need buildings to worship our God.
20-foot
That's
long
right.
How
That's right.
drawbridge
You tell him, Gabby.
how
made of
loud are these
wood.
Getting all
bells
high
now,
and
too?
mighty with us about God
They're
and
Yeah.
faith and such.
they're
Oh,
pretty
man.
loud. It's pretty irritating. I mean, they're
I
not letting up.
don't I don't trust the whole situation, so I'm keeping my battle axe on the ready and my shield in one arm and my battle axe in my other.
Yeah,
why don't-
something definitely doesn't look right though. That's for sure.
Let's go check out these bells then, Draven. If it is as you say.
Maybe it's the same thing that made the hole in that top of that building.
I guess we'll find
that
out
man
when we
is
go
ringing
in.
Bells? I don't follow this string of logic here.
Bang, bang. Yeah, it's the bells are, they're still ringing. I mean, they are ringing.
Well, we may as well go in and find out, and I'll start walking into town.
Lead the way there, holy man.
Will
Now-
do.
The drawbridge, it also looks like it's in working condition, and it looks like it can go up or down in each of one of the stone guard towers. There are winches, and it doesn't look like it would take more than maybe 10-15 seconds to
Right.
get this
Raise it.
to raise it up.
It doesn't cross my mind to bother lifting the drawbridge up. I'm not on drawbridge duty in this town. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Tell me about it.
Let's figure
But,
out what's going on around here first.
As
and
I
then
walk
we'll-
into town, I'm cutting my eyes left and right, looking for hooded members of the Omega Society hiding in the shadows after me. But yeah, otherwise I'm just following the Draven.
Yeah, right.
Are these big boulders in the ground?
Yeah, so the moat, I'm going to give you guys some general features. The moat, you determine that the moat is probably going to be about 15 foot deep in depth, 30 feet wide. Sometimes it gets a little narrower. Now, yes, the rocks that you see, as you're starting to go inside, you can see a couple of boulders that are 5 foot across. And these giant rocks or giant boulders are embedded into the earth. And as you're starting to look around, you can see that several of the buildings are also destroyed too, and you can see that there are several gaping circular holes in roofs as well.
Did we
This town
see
was
any?
besieged?
Did we see any siege equipment on the way in?
No, as you were kind of checking around Nightstone, surveying the palisade and stuff, no, you see no type of war machinery.
What
You don't
the
see any
hell
of
is
the
going on here?
no evidence of no evidence
It could
of
be a
elves
meteor
or anything
shower
like
or
that.
something. Maybe this was to announce my coming. The gods have mysterious ways about them.
The palisade is 15 foot tall. It's made of a very high quality wood. The palisade, where they raised the sharpened points, and it's the palisade has also got tar that seals the logs together. So I mean, this is actually a very heavily fortified
Right.
fort for being out here, really in the middle of nowhere. The stone towers are attached to the palisade as well, with a ramp that goes around.
I'm starting to go towards one of the big boulders that's laying around.
Sure. They're anywhere
I'm not
between
go-
3 and 5 feet, and you notice that, especially as you enter the main courtyard area here, there's almost a half dozen boulders, and then you can even see that there's a huge chunk of earth missing too, with no boulder in it. And you can also see that there's a well as well. There's a well like right here.
Wow. I wonder who did this. Which building is the church?
I think it's the one with the big old hole in it.
I'm gonna look around for any signs of activity.
Yeah, it looks like there's a windmill down south, and I'm you guys don't see anything, and you guys take a couple minutes to kind of survey everything here before you start going into, you know, any buildings or anything. You just maybe kind of look around for a little bit first.
Yeah, I look at one of those boulders, like